Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I'd like to welcome each of you to another FranTastic InSights video segment whereby we introduce you to some very prominent personalities, all of whom are having a very positive impact on the ever-growing world of franchising. My name is David Craghead. I'm the Chief Franchise Expansion Officer for FranServe, and today I'll be your host for this week's FranTastic InSights podcast. This is a video segment. It's being recorded and it'll be available to all of you as soon as it's uploaded to different forums. I think there's 4 different forms of social media that this will be uploaded to, including LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So we're going to make this populated all over the country. Well, for the past 11 years, FranServe has been recognized as the world's largest consulting and expansion organization. We have a very simple mission, and that is we change people's lives in a very positive way through franchise ownership. And we do that through a network of incredible franchise brands in 39 different industry categories. Our growth initiatives are supported by a growing portfolio of franchise consultants. They're most often referred to in the industry as brokers, but they're all the same person. They're all dedicated to helping their clients explore franchise opportunities which are deemed to be a perfect match for their individual search criteria. And today I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Derek Zimmerman. Derek is the team lead for Rainbow Restoration franchise. It's a brand that's owned by the Neighborly family of home service brands, all of which share a common goal and a commitment to provide their clients with outstanding service. In fact, they live by and they operate by what they refer to as the neighborly done right promise, meaning that if it's not done right, the good folks at Neighborly promise to make it right. And as I briefly mentioned, Derek will be speaking to us about the business model for the franchise brand known as Rainbow Restoration. And for more than 30 years, Rainbow Restoration has been widely recognized as the rapid response experts for all type of disaster restoration. So Derek, thank you for joining us today. And as I pass the microphone over to you, please share your best business model description and latest perspective on the Rainbow Restoration franchise brand.
Sure, David. And again, appreciate you having us on here and giving us an opportunity to speak. The best way to describe the Rainbow model, first and foremost, as people look at it, is a B2B based model. So we are in, hopefully the name says it all, the disaster restoration industry. But that doesn't really mean disasters. That's everything from small household water leaks to hurricanes. The focus of what Rainbow Restoration does is traditional water damage, post-fire damage cleanup, smoke and odor removal, light mold remediation, and light cleaning. And beyond that, one of the really exciting things about Rainbow is the almost limitless verticals that our franchise owners have the opportunity to expand into. We have franchise owners in reconstruction and remodeling, content pack out and storage, air duct cleaning, trauma scene cleanup, you name it, they have the opportunity to do it. The other thing that's part of kind of our core of what we do, 95% of everything our franchise owners do is covered by anybody but the person that actually occupies the space. So we are when I say a business to business model, we're working with other business owners, being the insurance industry, commercial entities, self-insured property management groups, etc. But that's just kind of a quick overview of the brand and kind of what we do.
Very good. And I introduced you as being a member of Neighborly. One thing that so impresses me about Neighborly is the cross marketing that I think it's 18 brands share with each other. So tell us a little bit about how that works, how one brand can help another.
Sure, absolutely. And yes, so we actually consider every market a Neighborly hub market. So all the brands that are there will be coordinated to get together, to get to know each other, to share opportunities, to market with one another. Interesting fact, David, I'll just kind of throw in off the cuff here. I was speaking with one of our Rainbow owners in Norfolk, Virginia. Her business development person, her salesperson, is also selling on behalf of 3 other Neighborly brands in their market. They're just cross-marketing together. It's one of the really exciting things. Neighborly has tracked 14 million plus clients they've serviced. And as an organization, we're going to connect the dots between the brands with things like our Neighborly app, where someone's been serviced by one brand. Hey, they can easily identify another brand that offers that same level of service. We have found also, when dealing with service providers, why the name Neighborly? In a foregone era, when you had a problem, you asked your neighbor, who did you work with when you had this problem? Now in the world of, what we're doing today, technology, the internet, we're a little less connected than we used to be. But the whole motto behind Neighborly is finding ways to connect our brands to the one individual consumer and take advantage of that. So yes, it's a great tool and a great system that we have in place.
It's a huge benefit to the brand new franchisee that's just getting started. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. It's a great chance to network again with other business owners that are part of the same umbrella. Tap into what they're doing, who they're working with, whether it's commercial, residential, all the different markets. Again, there's just a lot of really good cross communication between the brands.
Now, for the benefit of the audience, our brokers within FranServe have accepted the responsibility to find good, qualified, vetted applicants for rainbow restoration. And when we find one, we send that person to you. But would you do us all a favor and from Derek Zimmerman's mouth, tell us how you describe the perfect franchise applicant for rainbow restoration? What characteristics do they bring to the table?
Sure. So, and that's a great question. It's a broad question. One, anybody is a potential candidate for rainbow restoration, whether they've got, an industry background like remodeling or construction, which plays very well in our space, or they have a plumbing background, or if they're leaving corporate America. One of the real important things that I stress to candidates when they come into us, I mean, there's really three key things that someone's got to have an aptitude towards. One, we're in the disaster restoration business. We are crawling and going into crawl spaces, into attics, into uncomfortable environments. And that's not really what business owners should be doing. So one, from a standpoint of the right aptitude, having the ability and the wherewithal to focus on building and developing your team. We don't need an enormous number of employees. There are rainbow owners that operate with 4 or 5 employees. We have rainbow owners that have 50 employees, but building out that team so you can focus on your business. Two other really big important things that will communicate with somebody, that they have the energy to partner with us to execute a local marketing plan. We're always thinking, how do we help somebody grow the business? We have a national sales team. We'll drive business to our franchise owners. We have national key account work, but we want to work with that new owner or that existing owner to expand that local marketplace base. And most importantly, somebody that wants to embrace the system. I mean, Rainbow is the original Neighborly company. So that is what Neighborly was founded on back in 1981. Used to be called Rainbow Carpet Dyeing and Carpet Cleaning. We've got a great system. I joke, David, we've made every mistake that you don't have to make. And take advantage of that. People that want to understand the system, have a plan in place that they can then build and create for themselves. And most importantly, understand their numbers. We put a lot of emphasis in helping people understand, just because you do the work, how do you know you're really profitable and really getting behind that? So people that, again, honestly, long-winded answer, that are team builders that want to execute in their local market and really understand their numbers, doesn't matter where you're coming from. You can do really well in the restoration space.
Very good. In fact, I like your long answers. That's helping me out quite a bit. I appreciate you being so thorough.
Happy to do it.
How do you create and design the metrics around your territories? How is that created?
Sure. So we use an outside mapping company to look at it around zip codes. So for Rainbow, and I'm going to give you a little inside news on something that's going to change as of April 1st with the new FDD. A minimum Rainbow territory will have a market of at least 200,000 people. I will sit down with any person that we're working with, and we will build out their territory together. We do not have pre-assigned market areas. So we'll strategically look at the market, the zip codes, and identify the right place for them to be that they want to operate their business from. So again, at a minimum, they'll have a 200,000 person in population market. And again, we'll build that out around zip code. So we never land exactly on 200,000, but and we'll go up to a 500,000 if someone wants to have that big of an investment on day one.
Okay, so this sound like an improvement.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, again, ahead of the game here, we're going to do it at a better rate than we used to do it at. So we're looking to help our owners really grow faster and build bigger companies on a larger scale for them.
Very good. And for the benefit of our brokers who are watching this podcast, tell us about any really hot territories that you'd like for us to help you fill.
Absolutely. So off the top of my head, one, got a lot of great market in the greater Boston area. We have some ownership in north of Boston, but a lot of market there, and it's a good market for the restoration industry. Still got plenty of opportunity in Nashville, Tennessee, and in Memphis, Tennessee. It's crazy to me to think about this. Oklahoma City is a
Mhm.
wide open market for us. Some great opportunity in the Salt Lake City area, in Northern California. To be honest, David, we've got availability everywhere in one sense or another. We have 340 locations. We are definitely not the largest restoration company out there. There are two really big ones that I think everybody's familiar with. One's green and one's yellow, but we can find great markets for people still. We still have opportunity here in Denver, and we've got some great, what I call one-off individual markets like Madison, Wisconsin, Rochester, New York. Again, we've got 340 locations, but I am comfortable in saying in the US, we've probably got space for about 200 more where
Wow.
our owners are still working well together. They're not on top of one another fighting over dirt.
Okay. Um, so you're not sold out by any means.
No, we are not sold out. We still have ambitions to continue growing.
Okay. And as you grow across America, are you experiencing any regional unique aspects of the different climates or the different territories? Like California has different situations with weather than maybe we do here in Virginia or on the East Coast. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's, I will say this, every market is an opportunity to be an excellent market. California, yes, they're having new weather environmental things that, I never knew what an atmospheric river was until about 4 years ago. And now that's a thing that happens in California. The same thing I never knew what a polar vortex was 10 years ago. And that became the term for the deep freezes that have hit Texas. The environment's always changing. I mean, we always think of Florida, it's a hurricane state. There must be tons of work there. One of our biggest owners is in Des Moines, Iowa. The market is everywhere. I think people miss the mark on how much work there really is. Are there some regional differences on the type of work you're going to do? Absolutely. But you can build the biggest business in the network and you can be in North Carolina, you can be in Florida, you can be in Iowa. It doesn't make a difference because the day in, day out work is always going to be there. And we don't build it around disasters. Natural events like hurricanes, atmospheric rivers, we can't predict that. The rest, we have a very good sense of these events are going to happen. Broken pipes, the dishwasher is going to leak. There's always going to be fires that take place. We're going to find mold in attics and crawl spaces and basements. I mean, it's all there.
And as you describe these different types of situations, disasters or not, it sounds like your franchise owners may be meeting the homeowner on when they're having a very bad day. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So I will say this, the Rainbow's tagline, and a lot of the neighborly brands use something very similar, is to be the most trusted service provider for life's most important investment, which is your home or your business. So yes, we're dealing with them after they've suffered some type of loss, and coming in and putting that back together. Whether it's a commercial property, an office building, a school, all the way down to your traditional homeowner or even rental properties.
Tell me a little bit about the ratio between your franchisees' business between commercial and residential. How does that normally structure?
Sure, it varies, and a lot of where the variance comes in, David, is time in business. When you're a brand new owner, um, getting a Marriott courtyard where the sprinkler system pops is a really big challenge for you. You might be looking at 100,000 square feet of space, and for a brand new owner, that's a big job to tackle. In your infancy as a Rainbow franchise or a restoration company in general, you're traditionally doing more residential work. What we find as our owners grow and build out their market, it's roughly about a 70-30, 70% residential, 30% commercial. Each owner has their own bandwidth to really generate what their real focus is in their local market. So some owners are really aggressive in the commercial space. Others are more focused on the residential space. But we also found traditionally, I mean, 70% of the losses in America are going to be residential because there are far more residential spaces than there are commercial. But the nice thing, David, I'll just end with this on this topic. We're great in residential. I mean, I don't want to brag. We've been doing it since 1981. We are very focused, very strong in that space, have a great reputation into it. What I'm excited about is in the last 6 to 7 years, Rainbow has put a significant impotence into really getting heavy into the commercial space, using that as a tool to help our network expand and grow their businesses, to the point that we have a commercial sales team and estimating team supporting those owners to build that market out and continue to grow that.
Okay. And let me say it this way, as your business model continues to mature, are you anticipating any significant changes to the model over the next 2 to 5 years?
No, I mean, I don't want to say there's going to be anything dramatic. I think we're in that change process right now about getting more involved in commercial, going after people like Costco and the products that they sell that are being used in homes today. Targeting more national commercial locations. We had an owner handle a loss at a Nabisco facility after a large fire that we then connected with Nabisco to, kind of network across the country to service opportunities that present themselves, a negative to them, but an opportunity to us when they've had a loss. So really focusing on that as a very big part of our structured growth plan.
Okay. Derek, let me ask you, what effects, if any, is the current economy having on your franchisees?
Minimal. The nice thing about the restoration industry, the economy doesn't stop losses from happening. We don't see our prices dropping. We don't see the cost of oil going up affecting the jobs we're doing. That's one of the really nice things, David, about the restoration industry and what Rainbow Restoration does. I will never say we are recession proof, economy proof, but we are as resistant of an industry as you will find in that space, because our problem is environmental and aging properties. That has nothing to do with the economy.
It has nothing to do with Wall Street, does it?
Yep. Nope. They don't impact us that way.
Good deal. All right. From the point that a new franchisee signs their franchise agreement until the date of the ribbon cutting, what kind of time frame does that normally look like?
It's great question. So everyone's a little bit different, and there's some scheduling involved, but typically to really hustle through that, I'll say about 8 to 10 weeks from the standpoint of signing a franchise agreement to actually opening the doors. On the long end, 12 to 14 weeks. I mean, I will say this, some people take a little bit longer. It just depends on what they're doing. We hate that. We want to get them going and moving. But there is some logistics involved with travel. There are 3 weeks of in-person training that take place. But yeah, I mean, I always will tell somebody in the first phone call, plan on 12 weeks from the day you sign an agreement to the business actually being open.
And the training that you mentioned, the 3 weeks, is that a combination of classroom and field training?
Correct. Yeah. Just to be very brief on it for you, the 3 weeks of training start out with 1 week of a hands-on training experience at our corporate office for Rainbow in Waco, Texas. We have a 1,200 square foot house we've built within one of our facilities, fully furnished, fully functioning, hardwood floors, luxury vinyl tile, furniture, bathrooms, kitchens, and we'll flood it. We'll drop 1,500 gallons of water, and our owner will go through kind of cradle to graving a job from point of contact from, say, Allstate Insurance to actually getting paid and everything that happens in between. The second week is all about the business. Everything from starting your business to actually learning about how to exit your business. We have our resale team come in and really work with owners on starting to develop a strategy of what their goal is and is it a generational business? Is this an investment that, hey, this is part of my retirement structure? What does that look like? How do we help to start penciling out what we're going to do there? The third week is in the field. So we have currently, on an average year, we have 4 to 5 what we call field training partners, very successful full service franchise locations that for that year or 2 year period will allow other owners during training come in and spend a week with them, seeing every aspect of a successful business. Corporate goes in and supports that as well, and it becomes like a mentor program. You've got somebody that is running a 3, 4, $10 million business that is walking you through their paces, how they started and got to here, see every piece of it, and someone to follow up with after you get going.
And I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine there's a system of continuing education beyond that, correct?
Yes, that is what we call our Sure Start training program. Once you finish that, you continue to work with like our franchise business coaches. We have a network of coaches. You have a one-on-one business coach you're going to meet with in the beginning weekly, and then it might turn into bi-weekly. But that coach is there to focus on your business and then be kind of your tour guide to all the different departments that are there to help you build out your business. We have coaches to help with estimating, whether it's writing the jobs up for you or working with you to become more proficient at it. We have technical service coaches on the operating system. We've got a 24/7 tech line, David, where owners, if they're not sure what's going on a job, can call into, and we've got people, the beauty of the world we're in today with FaceTime and things like that can actually help scope a job on a Sunday afternoon while you're there to help you walk through how to handle the job. But it never ends. I like to tell people this when I'm meeting with them about looking at this business. There is as much help as you are willing to receive. Like I joke about this, treat it like you're a child again. If, for those people that have kids, they ask a lot of questions. Go in with the same mentality. I'm here to learn. I'm going to ask everything I'm not sure that I have the right answer for and never stop. Always have that curiosity and things will work out really well for you.
Can you speak briefly about how your franchisees scale their business after they themselves begin to mature?
Yeah, again, can I mention earlier on where the scale one, there's two scales. One, we're going to scale in scope of the work we do day in, day out, that initial water, fire, mold, and expand how much capacity and how much work we can do. But then again, it's really taking advantage of add-on verticals. I will say, like, the real popular one for a lot of our owners right now is to start to get into content pack out and storage. It's essentially, moving goods out of a home or an office, as an example, and storing that temporarily. And again, in most scenarios, your insurance company is going to pay for that to be done. It's a very popular way to expand and move into a new vertical. Again, reconstruction. A lot of owners don't have that background when they start, but they'll start working with subcontractors and eventually bring that in-house. Again, can be very profitable. But that's where we really see a lot of great scale. Owners that understand it's a diverse market and it's taking steps. I'm gonna focus on water and then learn more about fire and then mold, and then I'm gonna get into recon. And again, we just do it in a very systematic way that you're always expanding your business.
Very good. Tell me about the real estate component of the real estate requirements of the franchisee.
Sure. Nope, absolutely. It's a great question. So we are pretty flexible in the very beginning. So if an owner lives within the market they're investing in, we will let them start home-based. Now, our goal is to not operate as a home-based business. So we will always tell an owner, listen, within a year and a half, ideally, you want to be in some form of commercial space. But if it makes sense from a financial investment standpoint, we'll help them start that way. I will always say this to somebody when they're looking at real estate. Most are going to rent in the beginning. Look for short term, and move into 1,500 square feet. It gives you some flexibility from a storage standpoint. But if you're doing it on a short term, if you can get away with a year-to-year lease, when you need to expand into the 5,000 feet or 10,000 feet, I mean, I think the biggest owner that I'm aware of and I've personally seen his location is about 60,000 square feet.
Wow.
That is a big step up, but always we're going to work with them directly with our coaches on understanding as their business scales what their future needs are going to look like, especially when it comes to space.
Very good. Okay. I think, Derek, we're at the bottom of all my questions. I'm looking at my scribbled notes here. If there's one takeaway from this interview today that we may not have touched on, what would you want our viewers to know about your brand?
Sure. So this is one of my favorite things to talk to people about. We're not the largest and we're not the smallest. And that really opens up the door to, we mentioned earlier, we have a lot of great white space available. But we have all the support systems of the biggest company out there. Rainbow, Neighborly itself has, close to 1,500 corporate employees. Rainbow itself has roughly 45 full-time employees that are there just to focus on Rainbow franchise owners, but they're still getting a lot of support from the rest of the Neighborly team. So we're large enough that we do everything that the biggest company that probably doesn't have any white space available does. But what is really exciting about Rainbow is we're not so small that we can't offer all these great services. We have a very good national key account program. Our owners have jobs that are waiting for them when they become an owner. It's not the first job they'll do. There's a whole process to starting key accounts. I would love to say Allstate lets us turn everybody on day one, but we'll get them to that point where there are jobs they can get simply because they own the business. which separates us from a big piece of the restoration space, which is emerging brands. And there's nothing wrong with emerging brands. I was a vendor for 17 years to restoration companies. I know a lot of great small restoration franchise groups, but it's a little different model. We have all the substance of being the largest, but still room to grow as a business. And it's a really strong opportunity.
Okay, excellent. Well, Derek, once again, I want to thank you for being so thorough with your answers. This has really been helpful for both me and our audience members as well. And I want to thank you, Derek, for the privilege of your time today. This entire interview will be posted on the FranServe support site. It'll be archived in the FranServe library. It'll be distributed nationwide to all of our brokers, and it'll also be uploaded to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So who knows, Derek, you may get some autograph requests. I think it's happened before. So
I look forward to it. Thank you. And David, really, thank you for the opportunity to sit down and speak with you today. And hopefully this is helpful to people out there that are looking for a business opportunity for themselves. But yes, thank you
very
very
good.
much for having me on here.
Thank you, Derek. We'll see you later.